Hey, welcome back to Two Super Guys Trade Stocks. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Vinny. And today we're going to talk about Mark Zuckerberg and Meta and whether or not it really deserves all this negative attention it gets. There was a big article expose on CNBC, so I'm going to kind of go through the article and talk about some of the headwinds that Meta's facing.
Yeah, if you recognize this thumbnail from the meme, give us a like and subscribe. And yeah, let's get started.
Two Super Guys Trade Stocks.
All right, there you go.
Definitely an aggressive thumbnail, but the point I'm trying to make here is that Meta is getting attacked in so many different directions, all right? They're getting violated by so many different directions.
I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. Yep.
Yep, exactly. Some people enjoy that sort of stuff. Anyways, this is really where the rubber meets the road with Meta stock, right? It is you're at
Did you say
COVID
rubber on
level
purpose
lows.
just now?
No, actually, I didn't intend that innuendo there.
Got it.
That was just completely by accident.
Sorry, go ahead.
But COVID level lows. That is insane to me right now. Look at this. You know, they're basically right at that same level, 135 or so per share. That's what they hit at the trough of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Do they
and
deserve it?
No, they don't deserve it. Not at all. And in that other video, I said if they hit like 125-ish, I'm gonna throw an inappropriate amount of money, like a lot.
Yeah, I love it. So the real reason why I want to do this video again, I own Facebook. I'm actively buying a little bit of Facebook down here at these levels. I'm trying to add a little bit to my position. I'd love to get 100 shares of it so I can sell covered calls against it on the way back up. Hopefully, if my plan goes correctly, which plans so often don't. But there was this massive expose, this massive article on CNBC by CNBC standards, just talking about how it's like headed towards a death spiral and like that sort of stuff. And I'm like, I love it when they talk about a company I own with the words death spiral in the headline. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a good deal to me.
Yeah, I want to see why they think it's a death spiral. I get it; it's dropping a lot, but financially, their numbers are pretty solid. So
Yes, definitely. I threw like a little valuation thing at the end to show you just how ridiculous this has gotten. But this is like this quote here. She's like I guess the only kind of person with a sell rating on Meta right now. But I'm not sure there's a core business that works anymore at Facebook. Like what? Like what?
I
One of the
just look
largest
at
advertising platforms in history.
just look at the
It doesn't
cash
work
flow.
anymore.
I don't understand. How does that not work?
I don't understand what the hell. Her crack pipe must be glowing. That's all I'm going to say. Okay.
Being used 24/7.
Yeah, exactly. They talk a little bit about network effect, and certainly that was a major kind of proponent of social media and getting these social media kind of companies off the ground is this network effect where your friends are on it, therefore you want to be on it. I think that people are kind of missing the fact that these social media platforms, although they're competing for eye attention, are not used in the same way. And I think that's a major portion that they're kind of missing out on here. That like, do you have TikTok at all?
Hell no. Read that user agreement? No, not putting that
Yeah.
shit on my phone.
I did actually have it, and I uninstalled it. But the basic idea behind TikTok is just it's short form video that's entertaining. You're not
Yeah,
connecting with friends. You're not seeing what anyone's up to. I'm not looking at Dylan posting another burrito on his Instagram, which is pretty much all he posts on Instagram.
it's burritos and dogs. That's fair.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what mine is too. But it's a very different kind of product, in my opinion. That's what I don't think people that are claiming that they're going to switch over to TikTok and then Instagram, Facebook itself has got a different story, but Instagram, I don't think it's dead. The younger generation still uses Instagram. They still
Yeah.
enjoy it. Hit me up on the gram, bro.
It's also
Um,
on
yeah,
top of that, you look at let's take a YouTube video for example. The revenue that the person would get on a YouTube video versus TikTok is like 100 to 1, right? So
exactly.
usually TikTok, it's just being used as a kind of a time waster. People will just look at it for like 3 hours scrolling, and then you won't remember what you looked at. You're not connecting with people. It's just wasting
No.
time.
Yeah, it's entertainment. It is short form video, funny, punchy entertainment. You don't go there to learn anything unless you're crazy. You don't go there to reconnect with friends because that's not even a thing that I'm aware of with TikTok. Now, they do definitely have issues. You know, they're talking about 36% drop in net income. That's substantial. You know, they took a big haircut there. Their expenses got out of control. Actually, I don't know if you saw, one of our subscribers commented on a video we had posted like last week and talked about how they had an offer from Facebook, which was then retracted. And I'm like, yeah, I was like, it stinks for you, but as a kind of business owner perspective, it's good that Facebook is being a little bit more cautious. There's even the article that floated this week about how they're kind of anticipating cutting back 10% of their expenses. I don't know if you saw that. That's what their goal is.
And injecting 10 billion a year into the metaverse has its side effects here.
Yes, that cash flow has to come from somewhere. However, they were still a profitable company. $6.7 billion last quarter, $40 billion in cash and marketable securities sitting on the balance sheet. It's pretty nice.
Nice. This seems like a death spiral dead company for sure. Yep.
Yeah, I know, right? And they're talking about how the previous slowest revenue growth was 22%. Like, hello, we have a whole lot of things going on in the economy right now that makes any growth at all, seem appealing. And
really good.
Currency headwinds. If we go back to like a kind of neutral dollar, we're talking about they still had revenue growth actually last quarter. If you on a constant currency basis, in terms of actual users, they're still mostly flat. They're not really going to be growing users when you're talking about 3 billion monthly active users, 2 billion daily active users. Yeah, in the highest income market here with US and Canada, 200 million basically flat users in the second quarter. Yeah, I get it. They're not going to be growing on a user basis. Does that actually matter? They're going to almost become like a utility where they can still cash flow off of this constant kind of supply or roughly equal level of users.
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it.
Like 1 out of every 3 or 1 out of every 2.5 people on the planet uses your product, you can't be expected to continue to grow. That's not how it works. Yeah. You're just now try to just get as much profit as possible.
Exactly. Definitely a big issue for them has been this iOS change, this IDFA change. They talk about how they lost $10 billion in revenue, probably estimation for this year because of that. Their inability to track individual users and to really verify the effectiveness of their ads, which, it sucks. And then because of this, they're having to pour a lot of money into AI and then another headwind that they're facing right now, in order to try to get better kind of analytics on their ads. So that's their workaround for that. It's not perfect. It's going to cost them a lot of money to set it up, but they have enough scale and size and profitability that they can weather this sort of storm in terms of being able to still continue being a profitable advertising entity.
Yeah, so I think what you just said is super important and what people need to focus on. They are massive. They have so much cash. This isn't a company where Apple changed their iOS deal where, I can't remember what they did. It was a location?
Yeah, well, no, you can't. IDFA was the individual tracking number that you were able to assign. They were able to track you within other apps and stuff like that.
Right.
Now you have to opt in, remember?
That might have killed 2013 Facebook. But they have so much money. They're profitable in so many other areas. It's fine. They just have to figure it out.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. So there's this one guy is actually who they sort of kind of referenced a lot. This Curtis gentleman talking about how social networks are switchable, which we've already discussed. It's not the same thing. They're not entirely fungible. You use these for different things, right? That's the old joke. You go on Facebook to see what your old relatives are doing. You go on Instagram to see what your friends are doing. You go on Twitter to see what politicians are yelling about, or Michael Burry.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know the fact that he says I'm old enough, I was there when MySpace was a thing, automatically makes him an expert. MySpace was just people promoting their really shitty bands. That's it.
I think I had a MySpace thing, but I don't remember ever actually using it, not once. And I'm also
used it to promote my shitty band. That was it.
Oh, that sounds about right. But to say that they're not in a good position based upon their user numbers, what the hell is he talking about?
Stupid thing to say.
Does he want them to start doing ads on Mars or something like that? Get ahead of Elon Musk?
Try you ignorant slut.
Find users.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
Absolutely
someone who's
ridiculous.
criticizing a company's user number that has billions of users, that makes no sense to me.
He's short. He's just trying to cover his short. That's it.
I suspected so based upon his comments. I was like, okay. This is another kind of real headwind that they are facing. That the CNBC article talked about here, is that Zuckerberg himself You know, he is both a gift and a curse to Meta shareholders, right? He is a founder visionary, and he's one of the few kind of companies left that is founder visionary led, right? So I have to give him credit for that. However, his perception is, or public perception is not the most positive, which that Joe Rogan podcast I think did actually help. People that have watched it have had overall positive kind of review from what I've heard. So that was a good thing. We did a separate video on that Dylan did.
Yep.
But they are definitely having a little more trouble, I think, in recruiting people here. This was an interesting comment for me. It was by a college professor, I forget, University of Chicago, maybe, talking about how some of the young tech talent would rather work for TikTok because it's viewed as having less a moral downside.
No. Nope. It's very
I was like,
incorrect.
what? I mean, maybe. I mean, like, people are ridiculous, and this is, we're also Alibaba shareholders, so it's kind of interesting from that standpoint. There's definitely a negative, like, anti-China sentiment, and they're saying that even though, there's this negative anti-China sentiment, that, working for Meta is worse.
Yeah. That guy's an idiot. I don't like to say that. Well, he didn't say his name, so I guess it's fine. But that's an
It is
outrageous
actually
thing
in the
to say.
article. I just didn't leave it in this presentation here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such an outrageous thing to say. Like, they literally steal all your data very openly. Okay, whatever.
Yeah. So this is like throwing a little 10-year analysis out at them, right? Basically, what I kept here is super tiny revenue growth, right? Flat 2%, 5%. All right.
Okay.
Like they said before, mind you, their worst year before this year was 22%. All right. Kept their profit margins about the same, free cash flow margin about the same. PE brought it back to more market normal. 15 is historical, pre like 1990 average for the S&P 500.
Right.
And I gave myself a 15% desired annualized return, which is well above market, right? If you can make 15% a year, you're crushing it. If you look at that 2% mid kind of group here, that gets you pretty close to the current share price.
Yeah.
Meaning, if Facebook or Meta can average 2% revenue growth, basically keeping up with normalized inflation over the next 10 years, average, you're looking at a 15% return.
Yeah, that's disgusting. And I think they're chilling at like 134 right now.
Yeah.
And the market, it's tanking right now. So we could easily see 125, 115. I'm having a tough time finding a company on this scale at this good of a deal. There's not many.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree. This is getting ridiculous in terms of valuation, and like that makes me excited. Even though I own some and I'm down on it, I don't care. I just want to add more to it. Like, this makes sense to me long term, and I'm happy to see if it works out for me. We'll see.
Yeah, I agree. If you guys are looking at thinking about Facebook, give us a like and subscribe. This video helped you out at all. Other than that, have a good one, guys.
Yeah, catch you in the next one.